Today's lesson is very brief, but it is important. It's only brief because I don't really need a lot of time to go over it, mainly because yesterday you saw everything you needed to do in terms of today's work. Again, everything from yesterday came down to organization. I did try to stress that you made sure you knew how to show the meetings to where 6x meets negative 3x and 6x meets negative 4y and negative 2y meets negative 3x and negative 2y meets negative 4y. Now, of course, that takes up a lot of space, but the main thing yesterday was making sure you knew how to do this properly, and I need to make sure I didn't mess up. And then that you knew how to, on each part, again, where people made their mistakes was on small stuff, making sure that you understand it's sign, number, variable. So the sign here is negative, the number is 18, the variable is x squared because there are two x's. The sign here is negative, 6 times 4 makes 24, and then you have an x and a y, which remember you want to alphabetize. Here you have two negatives, which means your sign is positive. 2 times 3 is your number 6, and then again there's a y and an x, so you alphabetize those and put x, y. And then the last one, two negatives make it positive. 4 times 2 is 8, and then you have two y's, which makes y squared. And again, in the end, what we do is put our like terms together. So your negative 18x squared comes down. Negative 24 plus 6 makes negative 18. You can check that for yourself. And then plus 8y squared. So that was yesterday's work to make sure that we understood at least the idea. Today what we're going to do is pretty much our last step. I mean, there is one more thing to learn next week that you want to look out for, but for the most part, outside of one more type of question you might see on the test, this is pretty much the last type of question you're going to see on your test, except for just some, again, a little trick step that we're going to show you. But other than that, this is now 2 by 3 or 3 by 2. So you 2 by 3 means that it's a binomial, which means 2, because remember bicycle has two wheels, times a trinomial, which is 3 terms, 1, 2, 3. So 2 by 3 would be a binomial times a trinomial. You could also have a trinomial times a trinomial. Anything like that works as long as you're aware that your organization is going to be there. So we got 3 of these things to walk through real fast, and then that will be your lesson, and you should have the rest of the day to kind of work on all of your homework and start getting ready. So again, on 2 of the questions that you see today, it's going to be important that you know how to show your work. So 8c meets c squared. 8c then meets 7c. 8c then meets negative 9. After that, negative 1 meets c squared. Negative 1 meets 7c. Negative 1 meets negative 9. So as you see, it can take up a lot of room showing the work, but at least that way you know you have all the information you're supposed to have. So 8c c squared, 8c 7c, 8c negative 9, negative 1c squared, negative 1 7. Okay, so then you go back, and again, sign is positive, 8 is your number, and we actually have 3 c's this time. Here your sign is positive because there's no negatives, 56 because 8 times 7 is 56, and we have 2 c's there. Here your sign is negative, 9 times 8 72, and we have 1 c there. Here we have a negative, we don't need the 1 because there's a variable, but it is c squared. Here we have a negative number 7 with a c, and here we have a positive 9. Should be 1 2 3 4 5 6 numbers, because 2 by 3 should make 6 handshakes, 6 meetings. Again, if you want to know the number of meetings you should have, however many are here times however many are there should give you the number of shakes you have. If you were doing a 3 by 3, it should be 9 things going. But looking at what we got, remember we want to put this in standard form, which means high to low. So 8c to the third should be first. Then look for your c squareds, which are here. 56 minus 1 makes 55 c squared. Again, remember that's a positive 56 and a negative 1. Looking at your c's, negative 72, negative 7. Both of those are negative, which means they work together to make negative 79. Again, feel free to verify that for yourself. And then the plus 9 just comes down. And that is your answer for that question. So it's not bad, it's just a lot of work. And again, the good news for you is that because you've done all the work for the last couple days, today you only get 2 of these where you have to actually show all the steps, and then after that you get a review that has no steps necessary that you can actually start working on doing on paper since you do have a quiz tomorrow. Again, on B, you're going to do 2b meets b squared. Then 2b meets negative 9b. And then 2b meets 2. Negative 2 to b squared. I feel like I have to start writing smaller because I always run out of room. Negative 2, negative 9b. Negative 2 and 2. And I do have to always do that, which is always crazy. So negative 2b squared, again, even I do it because to make sure, negative 2b, b squared, negative 2b, negative 9b, I'm sorry, 2b, negative 9b, 2b, 2, negative 2, yep, and yep. Alright, so then we go back through. Number is 2, we have 3 b's. Negative, because there's one negative, 18 with 2 b's there. Positive 4 with a b. Negative 2 with a b squared, positive 18 with 1b, and then negative 4 going there. From there, again, putting it in standard form, there's only 1/3 power, so that's first. Take our b squareds, put them together, negative 18, negative 2, because they're both negative, work together, so it's negative 20b squared. Take our b's, put those two together, so 4 and 18, both positive, also work together, so it makes a positive 22b, and then minus 4 is where we end off there. So again, it's just one more step, a little bit tougher, but I think it's something you can handle. And then the last one before we talk about what we're going to do for the day, 9y, y squared, 9y, negative 3y. Again, I draw the line so I know where I'm at. 9y meets negative 9, so that I know I at least had everything happen. That kind of keeps me organized. Negative 5 to y squared, negative 5 to negative 3y, and negative 5 to negative 9, which always seems to just take up the full line. Anyway, negative 9. Again, I always like to go back and check to make sure I didn't do anything crazy or miss a sign. Yes, there. Yes, there. Yes, there, and yes, there. Okay. So this ends up being 9y to the third. Again, that is a negative 27 with 2 y's. This is a negative because there's one negative, 81 with 1 y. This is also a negative because there's one negative. Your number is 5 with, oh yeah, see, that's why I know I messed up. That should be a negative 5 because I knew it shouldn't have been a y to the third. Sorry, you might want to cross that out if you did that with me. But anyway, negative 5 with y squared. You have a negative 5, I'm sorry, positive 15 with y, and then a positive 45. So again, just kind of checking that. That should be 9y to the third. That should be negative 27, negative 81. Just checking the numbers. Negative 5, positive 15, positive 45. Now we put it in standard form, so 9y to the third first. Y squared's here. Negative 27, negative 5 make negative 32y squared because they both work together since they're both negative. Positive, or negative 81, positive 15, 6 makes, I think it's 66. Y, I can check real fast. And it is. And then plus 45 comes down, and that is your stopping point. So today's homework is only going to again make you show work on the first two problems because I don't need to torture you with that anymore. I know that takes you a while, so I appreciate the work you've put in on that. Please make sure you continue to do that because it is going to help you. Afterwards, though, it is a true review of the chapter material. So what I did afterwards, after I had the 2 questions that you have to show work on for these for today, I pretty much just took every question that's going to be on your quiz and test that you've seen so far and put it in the assignment and then just randomized it so that you have to kind of think your way through it. Don't forget, whenever it's plus, that you add the terms. Whenever it's minus, that you have to switch your parentheses around. So if it was like x plus y minus 2x plus 3, that means you have to actually switch that to be negative 2x minus 3. But again, that's what this day is about, is kind of getting you a review. So if you happen to finish this up, and I'm not in the room because I might not be in the room for all my classes, but if I'm not in the room and you get stuck, just go back to your old homework, work on some of that. But other than that, I think you've got plenty to work on. So let's start getting ready for this quiz and knock that quiz out tomorrow, and we have our test next week. So good luck.